I'm going to present this paper on recommending games to adults with autism for social skills enhancement. This paper is co-authored by me and Alisha Banskota. What is autism? Well, autism is a disorder that affects people's social, behavioral, and also communication skills. Back to the year of 2018, there's a statistical report that showed that in the United States, every 2 out of 100 children are diagnosed with autism. And as these children grow older, every year, the same report showed that there are about 50,000 teenagers with autism move into their adulthood, which is a significant figure. Now, individuals with autism are highly interested in video game playing, as quoted in different studies. And playing video games have positive impacts on these people, mainly because game playing is entertaining and also relaxing. And furthermore, statistical figures show that children and adults with autism spend more than 2 hours a day playing video games. And in fact, 64% of young adults with autism spend their free times in playing games on social media websites. Because of this, we recognize that using game playing as a way to enhance the adults' social interactive skill is a way to go. For this reason, we developed this particular project, and hopefully using the game playing platform to enhance the social interactive skill of adults with autism. Now, we team up with Scenic View Academy, which is a local school that teach adults with autism. And the area that we investigate, there are 5 different social interactive skill areas that we can consider. And also we focus on, which include developing communication skill, enhancing the engagement in speech therapies, recognizing facial expressions, showing empathy, and also maintaining eye contact. After narrowing down these 5 interactive skill areas that we would like adults with autism can enhance, we develop different entertaining and educational game for the adult to play, so that with the ultimate goal that we can improve their social interactive skill. After develop a number of games for the adult to play with autism to play, we consider the next step, which is recommend all the developed game and prioritize them, so that the one that meet the interests of the user the most will be recommended first. Now, we require that each user of our system to create a user profile, which include a number of games that they enjoy playing in the past. We use the Video Game Geek website games as a guideline, mainly because Video Game Geek is a social media site that allow the user to post games that they enjoy playing and also have metadata about those games. So it's a requirement that each user of our system choose the top 10 Video Game Geek games that they have enjoyed playing in the past, and we compare the game that this user enjoy playing with the game that we have developed and try to match different attribute values of the game that posed under the user profile, and also the attribute values of the therapeutic game that we develop, so that we can recommend the best for the user to play by matching their interests. After the user have played the games, we evaluate whether they have improved the social skill in a particular area that we focus on, and then determine whether the users should continue playing game in that area or they can move on to another area. So the over here is a left screenshot of the game that we have developed, and each of these games developed for either one or more areas for the user to play. And before the user play any games, we require that the user fill out a questionnaire. This questionnaire includes 34 different questions. Each of these questions is extracted from reliable website study that include question, for autism people to answer. And each of the user is required to answer all the 34 questions, and they provide a ranking from 1 to 7 to determine whether the user have a particular deficiency area. And based on the group of questions that related to a particular area, if the user show deficiency in that social skill area, we expect that the user will play the game so that they can have a chance to enhance the social skill in that area. So first of all, we determine the weakness area based on the questionnaire the user have filled out. And as we isolate the area of weaknesses they have to deal with, then we provide the ranking on therapeutic game that we have developed for that area, and rank those games in order of from higher to lowest priority, and recommend each one of these games to the user in different area. After that, we review the user progress through another questionnaire the user have to answer after they play the game to determine whether they have improvement. Over here, we have considered 4 different attribute values of each games to prioritize them and rank them accordingly based on these 4 different attribute values. The first attribute we consider is fame, or sometimes we call category. Each category consists of a number of keywords associated with it, and there are altogether 70 category of games posted under Video Game Geeks. And we consider how good the match of the Game Geek video games matched up with the category of the therapeutic game that we have assigned to. If the category of a game the user specified that he is likely interested in playing, and if we match the category of the therapeutic game that we consider, then this therapeutic game is ranked higher. The second attribute values that we consider is the number of players. So over here, different games have different suggestion on the number of players that should participate. Some games are single user player games, some games are multiple user games. And we consider the number of game that the user included in the user profile, and analyze each of the games suggested number of players, and try to match these games with the number of players suggested for each of the therapeutic game in a particular area that we consider. The one that if the number of players suggested by the therapeutic game match some of the game that the user like as specified in the user profile, then we assume that this therapeutic game is should be considered highly. The third attribute values that we consider is the topic, or sometimes we call subject areas. Topic is described by using different keywords, and altogether, we consider 27 subject area, which are determined by the LDA model that we developed. And if you put the game subject area met, the topic subject area of those game posted by the user in the user profile, then we say that this is a good match. The last attribute values that we consider is predicted rating. As it turned out, under the video game geek website, each of the game is assigned an average user rating. And based on this rating, we can tell how popular a particular game is. So we consider the video games posted under the user profile and determine the average rating and use it to predict the average rating, the rating of the user rating of the field put the game that we have developed. Now note that, in order to consider the predicted rating of the put the game that we have developed, we have to consider the genre, using the genre to determine games that are similar and also they are popular among different users. And so based on the genre, which are different keywords, the similarity of the genre of therapeutic games and also the game that specified by the user are used to determine the predicted rating. And this approach is based on the collaborative filtering approach. Now, after we have come up with all the rating for different games, then we combine the 4 different ratings into one, so that for each particular therapeutic game, we have a single rating, and the rating that have the higher values will be the one that recommended first to the user for a particular weakness areas. And in order to do this, we use this COM-MMC model to combine the 4 different weighting of a particular game into a single one. Now, besides using the game features to determine games to be recommended to the users, we consider this automated approach, which is strictly based on the assumption that if a particular new user, her interests match the interests of the former user who have played games, then if there's a good match, then whatever game played by the user in the past will be recommended as game to be played by the new user, assuming that they have the same area of deficiency and also they match the interest of the game that they like to play. And this is during the phase 2 of our recommendation strategy. In regarding the experimental result, we would like to show you that we have recruited a number of participants from Scenic View Academy. Altogether, there are 78 participants, out of which 55 are assigned to the test group, 13 of them are assigned to the control group. And all these players participate in this survey, in this study. They fill out questionnaire. But for the test group people, not only they fill out the questionnaire, they also play games. And it's so over here that participants in the test group, they make improvement in different areas of weaknesses. And also, they have showed that they have overcome some of the weakness areas. But the people in the control group, they didn't make any progress at all, as the statistical studies show that they have not made any improvement. Over here, we have breakdown on the area of deficiency that the student struggle with. As it turned out, recognizing facial expression is one of those areas that stand out. And also we break down the gender based on different area of weaknesses the student have to deal with. In conclusion, I would like to mention that we make a recommendation based on therapeutic game that we have developed in order to enhance the social skill that are deficient by the user. This work, help the autism people, and the goal is to help them to live an independent, productive, and fulfilling life. That concludes my presentation. Thank you.